in the vaccine.
All right, we are live, and I believe all of our technical difficulties have been handled. So we are calling the meeting to order. And if everyone would stand, we'll have our invocation and our pledge. If you would bow your heads. Dear Father in heaven, we just want to thank you for another day, Father. We just want to thank you for all the blessings you've given each and every one of us. We thank you for the city doing as well as we have done through this COVID virus and the other problems that we have in life. Father, we just ask you to be with our local government, our state government, and our United States government, Father, because we've all got so many things going on right now, and we need your blessing in each one of them. Father, we ask you to give us the knowledge and the wisdom to do the best we can for the city. We just ask you to be with us each and every day, lead, direct, and guide us, and forgive us of our sins. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to
The flag.
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May be seated. Okay, if we could, Phyllis, could we have roll call, please?
Mary Fraction. William Wilson.
Can you all hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right. We're going to start roll call.
Mary Fraction. William Wilson. Lynn Davis.
Here.
Wayne Reynolds.
Here.
Peggy Lou Singer.
Here.
Matthew Keenan.
Here.
Larry Stiles.
Here.
David Cross.
Here.
All right, next I need a motion and second to approve the minutes from the August 10th meeting. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved. Approve the minutes.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Fraction. Wilson. Davis.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Lou Singer.
Yes.
Keenan.
Yes.
Stiles.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Okay, Mary and Mr. Wilson, if you can hear us, I think y'all are both on mute. We could read your lips, but I think y'all are both on mute. Okay, next we're going to go to our departmental reports. Do I have a motion and second to accept the departmental reports?
I make a motion.
Have a motion, Lynn. Could I have you for a second? Lynn? I have
Yeah.
a motion. Would you second? Okay. Any discussion?
Did I understand right on our sales tax, we're about 200,000 ahead right now?
Yes, that's correct. Any other discussion? David, in case you didn't hear David, he asked on our sales tax, if you noticed on the city sales tax, we're about 200,000 ahead of where we projected, and that is correct. Any other questions?
Mayor, you're breaking up. Did you say ahead of our projection? Yes.
Yes.
There's some kind of feedback going on.
Yeah, y'all are breaking up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I tried to get a little closer. Good. So do I have any other questions on the departmental reports?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Fraction. Yeah, we've lost Mary.
I think it's
Mary
Mary?
Fraction,
She's not in the meeting anymore.
okay. William Wilson,
Yes.
Hey, Mary.
Davis,
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Speaker.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Lucinger,
Yes.
Kennedy,
I'm sure you said the name, yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Mary.
Yes, Mary, do you approve the departmental reports?
Yes.
Okay. All right, next, the only thing, Mary, I hate for you not to be on the screen so you can see the report that Greg Pumphrey's gonna give us. Did you just close out or what happened?
No, it says something about my network.
Oh. You have an iPhone or Android? You know, iPhone, okay, well, I'm gonna hang up, and I'm gonna see if I can't FaceTime you, okay? Hang up. Get this technology going. Well, she must be checking.
Maybe if they all put their phones down somewhere else.
I think someone's got a phone close or something.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't FaceTime her. I tried. Probably not be able to, so. Yeah, it won't FaceTime. All right, you'll be right here for questions. Okay, well, next we have our old business. And I don't know, I do hear something back feeding. I don't know if it could be somebody's phone or what, if you've got your phone. Okay. All right, so if we could, Greg, are you on there? Could you go ahead and start your presentation?
I am. Be more than happy to. Let me get my share thing going here. Can everybody see the photograph of the old Threads building?
Yes.
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 Good deal. Well, that's a view if you were standing on the side of the highway and looking down on the Threads building. I just want to run across these existing pictures just to, I know everybody's really familiar with it, just to kind of make it fresh on your mind. But as you can see, that roof pitch is very small. It's like 1 in 12. But you are able to see it from the highway. Now, once you get down, is my cursor showing up also? The little
Yeah.
hand? Okay. Once you get down into this area, which will be the new front entry, you can't see, only thing you can see is the gutter. You can't see any of the roof. But as you all know, Fred's had that little fake western front on the I believe that would be the north side of the building, and it shows up a whole lot from the highway, and it looks pretty tacky as far, you know, from a visual standpoint. Let me just back go to the next slide here. There we go. Okay.
That's better.
All right. Yeah, this photograph is standing in that parking area that I was talking about more,
Here.
kind of down in the hole with the building. And of course, this canopy will go away. But as you can see, the only thing that's, I guess, you can see when you're up against the building is the gutter and the back side of that parapet sticking up. That's on the north side. Okay, this would be the north side with the covered area here. And this is the parapet you're seeing from the other two pictures. And then they've got the higher center, drops back down to this level here. So when you see the new elevation, I've got two options, one with the screen and one with just the roof exposed. And you'll see what the proposal is to do on that elevation for the new city council meeting rooms. And this is the south side. This canopy will come down and there'll be a sally port built in here. As you can see, it's pretty plain Jane and not very attractive. And so I've got a proposal for something to do on that elevation. And that's where the patrol car parking is going to be. Okay. This is the, that would be the west side. And I propose we don't do anything to it and just save our money back there because it backs those railroad tracks in the woods. And I think it would be a kind of a waste of money to spend very much funds there on that. All right, our floor plan, we've worked with Chief Tabor and the special committee from City Council. And the floor plan really hasn't changed much, but I wanted to include it just to kind of show you the ideas. From an elevation standpoint, as far as what the building looks like, we're going to concentrate on this face of the building, this face of the building, and this face of the building. And turning this face of the building here into the main entry. So we're proposing to build a significant element away from that existing metal wall panel, and which you'll see on the next slide. And I'd like to leave a grass area. Right now they have parallel parking in front of the building. I'd like to get rid of that and put all the parking over here on this side for guests and visitors. And that would allow us to provide a green space between the sidewalk here and a green space between the sidewalk here. And that is going to warm up that whole facade pretty well. And really, really should draw your eyes to the main entry. Now, on the secondary entry, excuse me, my little thing popped up there. We've got an entry into the state police who has just a small area inside the building, and they have their own private entry. And then we have an entry into the city council meeting room that is going to be part of the project. And then we have one on the back door too for people who want to slip in or slip out or whatever, or well, for fire mainly. But I don't know if y'all want to go in detail on the floor plan. I know Chief Tabor has marked it off with tape there on the floor of the Fred's building. And it's very, very similar to what he's got marked out, just a little tweaking going on. It'll have 5 holding cells with the floor drain where they can be hosed out. This is the sally port they'll bring them into, the prisoners, down the hall and into the holding cells. Then the sheriff's offices, et cetera, training rooms is all in the remainder of this area here. And if anybody has any questions, just please speak up and I'll stop and respond.
Sheriff, but you mean police.
Oh, did I say sheriff? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just want to verify that it is just police.
Right. It is the Malvern Police Department, by the way. Okay, this is the facade that faces Highway 270. And this element here, okay, let me start on the bottom here. I'm going to, right now I've got 2 feet of block and there should be a board there.
Yeah, that block.
I believe,
This one,
Yes.
yeah, that one right there.
what do you want to do, hold it?
Just hold it up. I don't know if anybody can see
Can you see
it.
it?
Yes.
Can everybody see it?
Okay, we're proposing to use this dry stacked ashlar pattern white stone all the way around the base of the building on 3 sides here. And what that'll do, that'll allow something durable, you know, when you start doing maintenance, weeding, et cetera, it gives you a durable surface to work up against. Plus, it's very attractive. It'd make a fine finish. And this is a cultured stone, and so it's not real rock. It's cultured stone, and they even start laying this rock starting at the top and work their way down. So what that helps us do, it gives us a significant material here on the bottom that does not require any additional foundation support or anything else. And that's what we were wanting to try to stay away from, was digging down and find out that the footing doesn't go out far enough to put rock on or anything. This takes care of that problem. Now up above it, there's a little 4-inch square of gray material in that pile of samples. Yes. Okay, that's what we're proposing above the rock band on the bottom up to the roof. And what that is, it's an exterior insulated finish system, and I'm going to refer to it as EIFS, which is the kind of the trade name.
But that's not,
And
we could paint it. No, we could paint it that color, but that's not the color.
but it's pretty close to the color
Oh,
Chief Tabor was really liking on the building. But that material, I believe there's a paint fan laying around somewhere. Oh,
No, that's for the roofs.
okay. Well, anyway,
Yeah. But it's a little darker than that gray, probably.
yeah. And this stucco material, everybody's seen the paint fans you get from paint stores where you pick a color. Basically, they add paint to this EIFS material, so any colors are possible. You just mix paint in it, so any color is possible. But the gray seems to work pretty well with the white. Now this entry structure here we've got shown. It's pulled away from the building about 8 feet, and the material, there should be a little piece of metal sample that's maybe 2 inches wide, and there you go. Yeah. Okay. We're proposing to make that whole entry. The metal will be clad onto an insulation board and use this as a finished material for the entry to really draw the eye to it. And that metallic color is, I think, is a good accent to the EIFS and the rock. Now on the roof, there should be 8.5 by 11. There you go. Thank you, Mike. These are the standard colors of that's available in the metal roof. My personal opinion, the top row, the second one from the right, is what we're showing here on this elevation. And it'd be very clean, it would reflect heat, and it would be attractive even if seen from the highway. And that's what we have, the color we have proposed for y'all's review. And then again, like I said, with that green space, we'll have an opportunity for some planters, bushes, trees, bushes out front to really draw the eye to that main entry. Okay, the secondary entries on the north side is the same idea. This one, I'm proposing on this scheme, we completely remove that parapet wall that hides that roof slope. Because if we leave that there, we'll have to continue it all the way down the north side of the east side, and all the way down the south side in order to hide that roof. So there would be an expense in adding parapets all the way around to make it look right. Or if you're coming down the highway, you're just not looking at the back side of a fake wall, if you will. but we can use that same EIFS material where that, which is the gray, where the existing soffit is. We'll, on this scheme, we would cut that soffit to that roof slope. Just, and the only thing you'd see would be the edge trim of the roof. Now, on that side of the building, there is split face block, which Fred's used, you know, for their main entry, I guess, material. Okay, the insulate EIFS system, I'm afraid, because that split face block is so rough and it has uneven, you know, surfaces, that I'm just proposing we paint that to match the EIFS, because the block looks fine. It's just, it would take a lot of work to cover that up with EIFS. But I think we get a good result by just painting what's there on that block. And then we made 2 entries that's still made of that same metallics material, like the front entry, but these are much smaller in scale. You can see this is how tall and how big the main entry to the police station is compared to the entry to the state police and the entry to city council. It's not a primary form with regards to what we're doing for the front, but it still acknowledges and brings the eye to say there is an entry there. And so that really defines all the public entry points. Okay, on the south side, you know, that's all metal siding. I'm sorry, let me back up here again, do one more thing. We've got a sidewalk that goes all the way around on 3 sides. And to break the scale of the wall height, it's 14 foot from that eave down to the floor line. I've done a covered walkway that would attach to the existing metal building, and it would cover that walkway that comes around. Plus, it gives a unique form and creates a line that's, you know, with cast shadows, and really breaks the whole scale of that big vast wall down to where it just doesn't seem so overpowering, you know, when you're up close to it. There's that covered wall going around, and then the covered entry and the secondary entries. Okay, on this facade, we've carried that covered wall all the way around, covered roof, and the whole side will be EIFS, and we'll break it up with like score joints, and to where, you know, it won't be just a massive piece of stucco. And we'll add lines where it makes sense, and that's done just with styrofoam. And then that also has the rock base with the white roof color here.
Well, Greg, I have a question at that point. Well, and could we just end the walkway there in the front, because that's going to be a sally port. We're not going to want to encourage anybody going back there. And if you have a little covered area, it might encourage people to go back there. So
Well,
I don't know about having that little, I don't know that I really like the
They
idea.
need something to break it up though, because it sure is gonna look
Well,
plain.
We may do it, but I don't know that that's going to look that great.
Sure it will.
Not too
Well,
far like that.
yeah, the police parties is on this side here, and that would give them a covered way to get to their entry door, which is over here. But yes, we could terminate at any point. So, but it does help break that massive wall down scale, and it gives some type of continuity.
Is it not going to look odd to have 3 different kind of walls?
No, they're all the same. Every one of them except for the side where we're proposing to just paint the existing split face block.
Oh, so that'll be that rock looking stuff on the bottom and the stucco on the top.
Right.
Okay.
And then that mimics what what's going on around front, and then also creates a line with a shadow that makes from here to here, not just overbearing in height. So, and then it was mentioned in the agenda meeting, going back to, at first we were talking about maybe putting a screen here to try to hide the roof. So we looked at another option that attempts to do that. Okay, this maintains that major entry that we had defined, but there's a band here which is set back off the existing face of the metal building by 8 inches, so that way downspouts can come off the gutter system, and it leaves us enough space where we don't have to build around gutters or having gutters build around us, but what we would propose to use there is similar to that silver material that you were looking at earlier, but it would have perforations, either 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch in diameter. And we could even do it in a serpentine form to where this screen here could be like a wavy surface, or it could be straight. We have a lot of options on that. But I took it up to 6 feet. And from the road, you'll still see part of the roof. And on this side, this side here, really to make it look right, we'd have to run it all the way down this side here too. And that peak would still come up if it was 8 foot tall. You'd still see that peak right there. We could bump it up there, make it a little taller there, but when I got over 6 feet with that band, it was just too heavy. It looked heavy. And but if that's the route we go to, then I think we need to do it down this side and this side also, to cover the roof. So.
Greg, I remember whenever you showed us that product when we had our meeting, it was really nice and had a really modern look to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just concerned that our building's not going to look nice enough, especially on the sides. I do like the green and having some life out in front of it. I like the entryway, but like what I've seen on those metal roofs a lot of times, they just start looking dingy just within about 3 years. And so the more of that roof we can hide, I think the better look we're going to have over time. Now, I don't know what our price is, but I really like the product that you showed us.
That perforated metal. Mm-hmm.
That was nice looking. Yeah, it doesn't really show on that picture, but I mean, I see what you're trying to do on that picture, but I mean, it's a real nice look.
Yeah, unfortunately, when I put the circle patterns into it, the lines got so thick, it just turned black on me. So, I wasn't able to really show that perforation. And
you're going to see this 3 sides. So I'm concerned about all 3 sides looking good. I understand what you're saying in the back, and I agree with you. We shouldn't spend any money back there.
Mm-hmm.
But from 3 sides, if we can do something to dress it up or whatever, I mean, it's worth it to me. I don't know. I don't want it to look cheesy.
Right, and that's me too. I think the more simple we keep it, the better off we're going to be. And don't get crazy with colors. Maybe let the landscape throw the colors in, but other than the highway, the only time you will ever see this roof is just on the highway. If you were to go down there and walk,
that's where everybody will see it from.
Yeah, right. Most of the people driving by will, and but that roof slope is just so doggone small. It's only 1 in 12. It goes up 1 foot for every 12 feet. So I can figure out how to go back here again. Let's see.
The darker gray. roof on our house on Love Rate. I just don't remember Edward Street.
Notice it's darker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
See, that roof pitch is very, very small, very, very small. Of course, we're not going to put equipment on this roof. I just hate doing that on metal roof because you're just asking for leaks. We'll secure it somewhere in the back, heat and air.
I don't think, Greg, I think I heard you say this, you can't hide that roof from coming over the overpass, can you?
No,
There's no way to hide it from the, even probably halfway down the north side of the overpass, you could probably still see it.
yes, sir. And that's why I guess my first option was let's just put a nice roof on there. Let the roof be what it is.
Greg, what kind of lighting have you drawn in for it on the outside?
Well, obviously, I'd like to do some can lighting underneath that covered walkway. You know, every so many feet. And here, I'd like to backlight this wall and then flood this entry with light. So that way, at night, you know, when they're closing down for the public, this thing can just. The engineer is pretty good about using getting lights, and that spreads has a fast spread to them, to where he can illuminate just a single element like that entry. You know, this is about an 18,000 square foot building, and in my opinion, it would be very attractive. I mean, even screen it or not screen it, it'd be very attractive. I didn't want to spend $2 million just on what it looks like and then have $500,000 left over to build walls, you know, because, you know, we do have to fulfill the function also. And you know, everything has a price tag.
everything cost. Okay, why don't we go to the next part? What else did you have?
Okay, I was just going to review the fire station elevation one more time.
Okay.
Okay, let me get out of this from here.
I think there's somebody backfeeding something.
Sounds like somebody's making mashed potatoes.
Yeah, something's backfeeding. I don't know what.
Yeah. Okay, this is the site for the new fire station. This piece right here was purchased from the school district, and which gave us a lot more room for parking. Public parking would come in here, and there'd be several places for public parking, and you know, for when they had training meetings with the fire station. Additionally, there's more public parking here right off Moline, and handicap parking and parking for the inspector's office. And then it would connect to the paved area where the fire trucks would enter and exit. Fire truck would enter, pull up, back in. Okay, the lower level plan really hasn't changed since last time we visited. We have the dormitory area and day room, the firemen, the apparatus bays for the trucks, and then the inspector's office, which we've had several discussions on. Upper level, same deal. Hasn't changed any at all. Still have the same number of beds, showers, etc.
Could you show us the front?
Okay, and I apologize. Yes, I was unable to get color on this one before the meeting. After going around picking up all the materials and working on the fire department, but we have put out a rendering of what the colors are. But okay, the brick, Mike, that you're leaning on there. Okay, that's what we're proposing for use on the fire station, and you can see the difference between the brick, which is shown here, and here, and here, and here, and here. That is the red brick that Mike's holding up for us there. Then as an accent, I want to use that white rock, that cultured stone rock, that is sitting there in front of you there, Mike, and that will be our accent pieces, and it's the areas that you see with this hatch pattern on it, here on the tower and here, just to break that band down. And plus, there's some structural reasons we had to hold the height of the brick wall to 20 feet because of our seismic category and the importance factor on the building. So we had to keep our brick down to 20 feet without getting into something special. And then the roof, what I'd like to do is, like you were saying the other day, last week, that the blue roof just didn't work because it looked like part of the college campus. And you're right. I drove by there just the other day, and I said I just didn't realize, that there had all the blue roofs and everything. So what I'd like to do is whatever color we choose for the fire station, and we have time on this. We're a ways before that material's ordered. I'd like to use the roof color and that accent block to kind of tie the municipal buildings in together. The fire station and police station come with common materials, much like a college campus would do. So that was our thinking on that, and using the same color metal roof, the accent tile, and the red brick. And that's the back side. I guess it'd be the east side. Same thing with the brick and the accent color and the roof color that we just talked about. This is an outdoor balcony, not covered, but it does cover a patio on the lower level for the firefighters to be able to walk outside and grill or just sit outside if they need to. And the side elevations, that's the balcony we just spoke of. It's got the same material with the brick and the accent tile and the roof color. And this is the north elevation, and that's the south elevation. So really on the fire department, nothing has really changed, except maybe the offering to change the color of the roof to off the green that we had originally shown on the original elevation, and move it to where it would be matching with the Fred's building when we put the new roof on it, and kind of tying the city's buildings together. But in a nutshell, that's where we are with the color selections.
Greg, I don't know if I'd worry about that too much. I'll just make sure that the roofs look good for the building that they're on. They're so far. The roof just needs to look good for the building that it's on. It doesn't need to match other buildings necessarily.
Did you hear him, Greg?
Right, it would. I did.
I don't like.
But I like the idea of
Agree with you.
I like the idea of something like that rock, you know, maybe tying something together. But like I said, I will put some color on this the fire station elevation and get y'all a copy of it. And like I said, it's not something we're going to be selecting in the next 30 to 60 days. We got a lot of work to do before that happens. So, but I just wanted to get the initial start, making sure on the police station that we're going in generally the right direction with the entries on the for the main entry and city council, state police, and then on the colors for the fire station. We just wanted y'all to have the opportunity to look at it and have input.
Hey, Greg, can we go back to the police station one more time?
Sure.
I got a thought on the sides, especially with that white rock, the cultured rock.
Uh-huh.
Why couldn't we do like some fake columns going down the side to break that up so it's not just a big wall of gray? And maybe even do the corner of the front building, the front, what side is that? The west side, is that what we said? East side, and then the south and west side. Like have a corner of that white rock that would almost look like a column on the end.
Right.
And then you could also go up so high, maybe to your brake line or to your awning with it, and it would, just, man, it's just going to be a huge wall of stucco.
Yeah, and
I just worried about this building looking ugly.
oh, it's not going to look ugly. It's got our architects. The old saying is, we build our mistakes full scale, and got to live with them. It's just a matter of cost. I mean, I could clad it in gold if we had the money.
I don't want to do that, but I want to throw a little more design on that side, especially coming up with viaduct and you're just looking at a big wall of gray.
Okay.
A little bit of design in that. I'm not saying spend $1 million. I'm saying
right.
Maybe bring a column up here and there, just something to break up that gray.
Right. I tell you what, let me look at that, see what I can come up with there.
And like I said, if you needed to have a little bit of that on the front, you could just bring it around, make it look like there's a big column sitting on the corner of it, on both of the sides of the front, and then you can take that down. I don't know what to say about that split block. I understand why you're trying to paint it gray, but I don't know. That's what everybody's walking in,
Well, yeah. Again, I'm just trying to keep from. I know the original budget was below 2 million. We're above 2 million now for the total project. I'm just trying to conserve where I could, and I offered that as a suggestion. So we can take that block down. There's no problem with that.
Well, that's my first thought, going and knock it down and do the whole building out of the same product all the way around, so it looks like a brand new building instead of a pieced together building.
How much more though are we looking at?
Mayor, I'd have to do some figuring on that.
Could you look at that, please? Let us know how much more we're looking at doing that.
I can, yes. Sorry, I lost my drawings there. So you were talking about this wall here in particular, right?
I just imagine, well, you can go back to your pretty picture if you want. I can imagine it better on there than that.
Right.
Yeah, okay, so where's your big wall of gray on the?
Can you enlarge, can you go up there and enlarge that? Yeah, okay, thank you.
There,
This wall here, yeah,
Yeah, that one there especially.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, we will have expansion lines in that drive it, and we could do some deep reveals, to where it's banded maybe.
If you didn't want to do it out of the rock, you could do those brake joints in that same color as the rock going up. and make it look like columns, and that would be really inexpensive to do. You're not really adding any cost. You're just adding a color and a little bit of,
There you go.
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And in fact, that's what I was, when I brought up what we could do reveals like every 3 foot vertically and really break that scale down. And what they would do, they'd put up let's say they put up a 1/2 inch sheet of insulation board, and then they
Then
would
you
cut,
bump it out,
what that?
and then bump it out and
And
make
then
it.
bump it out. Yeah. We could maybe corbel the corners or something using styrofoam and then using that EIFS finish.
I just think it needs a little more design than that.
Okay. That would be the least expensive thing to do. Yes.
If we can't afford the rock, that would be my next thing. Let's do something besides just a gray wall. I mean, this is going to be a building that's going to be sitting here forever.
Right. I agree with you. And like I said, this is just a schematic presentation, just to kind of get the idea going and conversation going like we're having. And it's by no means is it going to be the finished product. We'll just want to make sure we're on the right track, because when we start doing 3D models or something, it gets pretty involved. But I agree with you on it needs the scale broken down.
How would that look to put them vertical?
It would look better than that,
You think it would?
definitely. Yeah, especially even if you just went to his awning or something, or if we get rid of the awning, he's got a brake line, you can bring it so high.
Mm-hmm.
See, in fact, I'm just trying to blow this up a little bit. Right there above the windows, that is kind of what we were proposing to put reveals there, which needs to go on around the corner, which I just got shown. But that's what we were proposing here, is having maybe a 1 inch wide by 1 inch deep, stucco reveal,
If you look at the columns on there, see the columns on the front of the building? You can have a fake look like that on the side almost. It doesn't have to be that close together. It can be 10 feet apart, but it would just break up. See how it breaks the gray up?
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll look at massaging the sides more, and then continue letting this mature here, the front elevation. But like I said, that's the kind of feedback we were wanting for today is concerns, and that we're going the right way as far as trying to be conservative with money, yet trying to give you a good looking building that the community will be proud of. So.
Greg, I'd say one more thing about if we're going to end up going with that, seeing the roof, every bit of it. If we go real light, I think over time it'll look dingier than if we went somewhere in the middle, like a gray or something. I don't know. I think the gray will hide the dinginess more than that polar white. I think that's what you were saying.
Well, it was
Is it polar?
the second one over.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, I kind of like the next one actually, but
You got white, or you got brilliant, polar, and then gray would be the next shade darker. I have a clay metal roof, and it's only been on there for 4 years now, and I can see every bit of the dinginess on it. That's a clay color, and that's definitely darker than the polar.
Yeah. Well, I've used lighter roofs before, and every 5-10 years you have to get up there and power wash it, But what I was trying to do, I don't want the building to look menacing, you know what I mean? And but a darker gray, we're fine with that. We can take it down to a darker gray. Absolutely.
I'm not saying that needs to be the color, just a thought. If we're going to see every bit of that roof, we might just consider that. I know what my roof did.
Well, I do think, my opinion, that the roof needs to be lighter than whatever we do on the walls, just to
Yeah.
so
Good.
It's kind of monochromatic, you know?
I agree with that.
If you go too dark, the sun and the weather's eventually gonna fade it.
That's right. It'll get sharp.
Then it's really gonna stick out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start out with a lighter color, then it'll always kind of, if nothing else, it'll just kind of blend. If it's what your eye sees at first, and it looks like that 10 years from now, even though it may be a little faded, then it still looks new.
Yeah, definitely. If you go with a real dark color, it'll look chalky over time. It'll start looking.
It won't take it long.
Yeah.
So I'm in agreement with Greg on the lighter color, yeah.
Well, the gray is a light color. It's not a dark color. It's not dark. It's like a green or a red or those are the colors you really want to be careful about because they really get chalky.
Have you got a sample of that there?
Yeah, you might can see it.
Oh, that's okay.
It's this right here.
We'll check it out later. I can't, so all I'm seeing is,
Or you can pull you can go to reedsmetal.com or whatever and see it on there.
Well, I'll tell you what, also, there's a new building down the street from my office that has used a white roof. Actually, there's two of them. And looks pretty doggone good, man. I mean, but I understand what you're saying about the dinginess. And you're absolutely right about the greens and the blues. They just turned to chalky blue and chalky red and with those bright colors. They look good when you first put them up for certain situations, but they're notorious about color fade.
All right, anything else before we move on to the rest of the meeting? Anybody? Greg, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll be getting with you again on a meeting.
thanks, Greg.
Okay, I will have you updated. I'll have y'all updated elevations by your next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next, we're going to move into new business. And the first thing we need is a motion and second to accept the audit report from the legislative audit for 2019.
Make the motion to accept the audit.
I have a motion. Do I have a second, Larry? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Fraction. Is Mary on here? William,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Yes.
Lucinger,
Okay.
Peggy, Keenan,
Yes.
Styles,
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Mary, did you say yes? You're muted on the. I should hang up. I heard her say yes. Okay, next we have our first reading of an ordinance levying the 2021 taxes. Would someone like to introduce the ordinance?
Introduction made.
Introduction, could I ask Cecilia, do you mind coming and reading?
Sure, let me.
You want to sit here, is it?
Get to it. Oh, here we go. Okay. An ordinance levying city taxes for the year 2021 for general fund, police pension and relief, and fireman's pension and relief. Whereas it is necessary that the city council of the city of Malvern, Hot Spring County, Arkansas levy the following real estate taxes: 5 mills for city general fund, 0.5 mil for police pension and relief, 1 mil for fireman pension and relief. Whereas it is necessary that this levy be furnished to the county clerk of Hot Spring County and the Secretary of State. Now therefore be it ordained by the Malvern City Council, Section 1, that the following real estate taxes for the year 2021 are hereby levied by the city of Malvern, Arkansas. A, 5 mills for the city general fund, 0.5 mil for police pension and relief, 1 mil for fireman pension and relief. Section 2, nothing herein shall be construed to alter or change the terms or conditions of the present franchise under which the city is operating. Section 3, all other ordinances, agreements, or parts of ordinances and agreements in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed.
All right, we will put that on the agenda for next month for its second reading. The next thing we do need to have a motion second to approve a water service on Babcock Street. Do I have a motion second?
Make a motion to approve the service.
Have a motion from David. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second from Wayne. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary Fraction,
Yes. Could you hear me?
yes.
We got you.
William Wilson,
Yes.
Davis. Lynn,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Lucinger,
She said
She's
yes.
still muted.
Keenan,
Yes.
Styles,
Mayor, you did say this was no additional cost to the waterworks.
That's correct.
Yes.
Frost.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's all I have on the agenda for tonight. I don't really have any other reports. Then we will continue to work on the police and fire plans. We've also are working on street plans. But other than that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Have a motion?
Second.
All right, thank you. You are adjourned. Thank you so
Good
much.
night.
Okay.
Back.